In the luxurious private bathroom, Zaria sat on the marble floor, staring at the pregnancy test in her trembling hands. Positive. She didn't breathe. She didn't cry. She just froze. Her entire world tilted. Everything, the contract, the lies, the quiet nights and burning kisses, had led to this. Baby. Way's baby. That evening, Wei entered the bedroom to find her sitting by the window, her face unreadable. Zaria. She turned slowly. We need to talk. He raised a brow at her serious tone. What is it? She stood, walked toward him, placed her palm flat on his chest. I'm pregnant. Wei stiffened. His lips parted, but no words came. I didn't plan this. You didn't either, she said, her voice shaking. But now it's real. All of it. For the first time since she met him, Zaria saw fear flicker in his eyes. Real raw fear. Not of the child, but of what it meant. He reached for her hand, but before he could speak, there was a loud crash outside the window. Glass shattered. A stone rolled across the floor with a red slip attached. Zaria screamed. Wei ran to the window. On the red paper, in bold black ink, were the words, "Send the foreign woman away, or we will bury her with your crown." The red paper trembled in Wei's hands, the ink bleeding slightly into the soft rice fibers as if the words themselves had been soaked in hatred. Wei's jaw clenched. The room had fallen silent except for the sound of the broken glass crunching under his bare feet as he stepped away from the shattered window. Zaria was frozen. She hadn't spoken since the crash. Her eyes were wide, fixed not on the note, but on him, on his reaction. He turned to her slowly. This was never supposed to touch you, he said, voice low, firm, as if blaming himself for allowing reality to leak through the fragile fantasy they had built together. But Zaria lifted her chin. Who sent it? Wei exhaled through his nose. It could be anyone, but likely the Han faction. They believe that the bloodline of the dragon throne must remain pure. To them you are an insult. Her stomach twisted, not from fear but from the weight of those words. Do they know about the baby? She asked. Wei's eyes flashed. No, and they never will. He crossed the room in 2 strides, kneeling in front of her. You are not leaving this estate unless I'm with you. You'll have double the guards. And from now on, I want you sleeping in my chambers. She stared down at him, heart racing. You're serious? He cupped her face. More serious than I've ever been in my life. The next few days passed in a blur. Security tightened. Wei became even more elusive, buried in meetings and late-night calls behind closed doors. Guards rotated every 2 hours. Zaria was followed by shadows. Silent, watchful men who now treated her like glass. She hated it. She hated the silence, the careful stares, the way everyone suddenly looked at her like she was in danger. She was pregnant. She should have been glowing. Instead, she was hiding. One morning, frustrated, she walked into Wei's private study without knocking. I'm not going to live like a prisoner. Wei looked up from a stack of documents. His eyes were tired. His shirt slightly unbuttoned at the collar. He didn't snap. He just leaned back and looked at her with a calm, unreadable expression. I've kept you safe this long, he said. Let me continue. She folded her arms. What's the point of keeping me safe if I lose myself in the process? Wei stood slowly and walked around the desk. What are you asking me, Zaria? I want to know what we're doing. This baby, she placed a hand on her stomach, changes everything. I need to know if I'm just a contract to you, or if we're real. He stopped just a breath away from her, close enough to touch, but he didn't. Then softly, I tore up the contract 2 nights ago. Zaria blinked. What? I don't want a contract anymore, he said. I want a future. Her breath caught. But before she could speak, someone burst through the study doors. It was Bo, Wei's head of security, his face pale and jaw tight. They've found out, Bo said grimly. Someone inside the household leaked the pregnancy. Zaria's blood ran cold. Wei turned to him. Who? We don't know. But there's more. Someone tried to bribe a midwife. The Han faction is moving fast. They're planning something. Wei turned to Zaria, his eyes blazing now. You're leaving. What? She gasped. No. I'm sending you to the Winter Garden Villa. It's remote. Guarded. No one will find you there. Not until I clean this up. Zaria grabbed his wrist. Don't you dare send me away like I'm weak. I'm not doing this because I think you're weak, he growled, pulling her close. I'm doing this because I can't lose you. A heavy silence hung between them. I won't go, she whispered. His jaw clenched. You have no idea how dangerous this is, Zaria. She stepped closer until her forehead rested against his chest. Then don't just send me away. Take me with you. Let me stand beside you. His arms slowly came around her, tight, protective, almost trembling. You're already stronger than any empress in our history, he whispered. And you're not even wearing a crown. Later that night, Zaria stood alone on the balcony of Wei's chamber, the city lights twinkling in the distance. She ran her hand across her belly. New life. Legacy. A war she hadn't asked for. Behind her, a quiet voice spoke from the shadows. You shouldn't be here. A turn. A woman emerged. Tall, elegant, with cold eyes and hair pinned in an elaborate jade crown. Dressed in a soft green robe, she moved like someone used to being obeyed. Who are you? Zaria asked. The woman tilted her head, lips curling slightly. I am Lady Iran, Liang Wei's fiancée. Zaria's stomach dropped. That's impossible. Lady Iran smiled coolly. It was arranged since childhood. He may play house with you, but when the time comes, the throne will need a real heir and a real empress. Zaria stepped forward, voice tight. He doesn't love you, and he won't protect you forever. Lady Iran leaned closer, her voice like venom. Tell me, Zaria, how far do you think he'll go to protect a woman the Empire will never accept? She turned gracefully, walking away as the guards scrambled in confusion. Zaria stood frozen. 1,000 emotions swirled in her chest. Shock, fear, anger, but above all, determination. She wouldn't run. Not from danger. Not from Iran. Not from her child's future. But as she stepped back inside, something even more chilling awaited her on the bed. Black lotus, freshly placed. A symbol of death in ancient royal code.